Hello friends, Tom Downey here for NFL Daily, presented by BetDSI, the internet's #1 sportsbook. Let's take a look at the Green Bay Packers head coaching job. We went through a bunch of college ones when it was that season, but now we're into NFL head coaching candidates. And so Green Bay, as I'm sure you all know, already fired head coach Mike McCarthy after, frankly, an embarrassing loss to the Arizona Cardinals. Now Green Bay, this actually might be the best job out there for one reason. Aaron Rodgers is your quarterback. The Packers are in win-now mode despite some other flaws throughout the roster overall. But remember, folks, the success that came with Mike McCarthy, it's still like a change was needed. There was some disagreements between McCarthy and Rodgers. Those two didn't seem to always get along that well. The talent of Aaron Rodgers makes the job intriguing, but at times the relationship between Rodgers and the former head coach is something that they're going to look at any head coach candidate and say, can I get along with Aaron? Can I make this work out? Because if it doesn't work out with Aaron Rodgers, your coaching stock takes a pretty massive blow overall. So we'll take you through 10 potential head coach candidates for the Green Bay Packers. Fair warning, there's a good chance we come back later on in the offseason and tweak this at least a little bit. At number 10, a coach whose hype train with the NFL and the rumors will never die, it's Jim Harbaugh. I don't think it's all that realistic of an option, mainly because I don't think Jim Harbaugh wants to leave Michigan right now. And if you're Jim Harbaugh and you want to win at Michigan, isn't now the time? Urban Meyer just left. Ryan Day is the new head coach for Ohio State. Michigan State has some issues. Penn State is going to lose their quarterback this season. So if I'm Harbaugh, I'm staying at Michigan, and maybe down the road he does make a return to the NFL. But frankly, if Harbaugh leaves Michigan after this year, it's kind of a failure, right? His tenure did not go the way it was supposed to go because he never won the Big Ten, didn't beat Ohio State, didn't get to the CFP. That's kind of a failure for a coach of Harbaugh's stature. Now, will he eventually return to the NFL? Let me know in the comments section. Type Y for yes, type N for no. We are officially, I think, in John Gruden territory for Jim Harbaugh. He's going to be the target for every team, linked to every job opening, and maybe at some point he'll finally come back to the NFL. All right, number 9, let's go with the lesser-known OC, Pete Carmichael. He is the longtime Saints offensive coordinator since actually 2009. Now, he is 47 years old, and he's kind of waited and bided his time for a jump to the head coach level. I would not be surprised, though, if this season Carmichael makes a little bit more of a push to get himself that head coaching job. And as I'm sure many of these coaches are going to feel, wouldn't you love if you're an offensive mind and get the chance to go coach Aaron Rodgers and have that great success there? So keep an eye out for Pete Carmichael. Don't be surprised if he gets interviewed for several jobs this off season. So it's Harbaugh number 10, Carmichael number 9, and then your dark horse, but seriously, don't sleep on this guy, number 8, Pat Fitzgerald, the Northwestern head coach. Makes you go, now wait, what? Why? Why would they do this? Well, remember when Fitzgerald was first hired at Northwestern? The AD at the time was a man by the name of Mark Murphy, a.k.a. the Packers' current president, the man who gets to make the hire for Green Bay. Do not be surprised if at the bare minimum, Pat Fitzgerald gets an interview with the Green Bay Packers. Now, would he even leave? Northwestern is his alma mater. That's a fair question to be had, but Fitzgerald has had success at Northwestern, even though it's Northwestern. This is not named Michigan, and Ohio State is, frankly, one of the tougher places to win in the Big Ten, yet Pat's done a good job there. Don't be surprised if, and I'll say when, he gets an interview for the Green Bay Packers job. We'll stick with the college coaching theme here. How about Matt Campbell over at Iowa State? He has done a fantastic job. Don't let the record fool you. 19-8, whatever. Yeah, he was 3-9 in year 1. Winning 8 games at Iowa State, that's a hell of a job by Matt Campbell. He is very well regarded by the NFL and by college programs as well. One potential issue here for Matt Campbell, I think he might prefer the Browns job if offered to him because he's an Ohio native. Most of his coaching career has been in Ohio. So Campbell is a name you'll hear plenty about this coaching carousel season. Don't be surprised if the Packers have at least some level of interest in hiring the Iowa State head coach. All right, folks, today's show is brought to you by BetDSI, the internet's #1 sportsbook. Got a special deal just for you guys. It's promo code LIVE120, and it gets you a 120% deposit bonus. Now, the math there is pretty simple. You put down $50, they're going to give you an extra $60. Put down $100, that's the easy one. They'll give you $120. Put down $500 to bet with on BetDSI. They will give you $600 extra, but only if you use promo code LIVE120 at chatsports.com/bet. All right, and speaking of BetDSI, again, they have provided us with some odds for several head coaching candidates, like number 6, Zac Taylor, plus 1,500. Now, This is a name I think you'll hear more and more about. It's kind of picked up a little bit as of late as we get closer to the actual hiring process. Everybody, right or not, wants the next Sean McVay. They want the next young, brilliant offensive mind that's going to turn their offense from Jeff Fisher to, well, the Rams' current offense. And Zac Taylor might be that guy. Now, he's only a quarterbacks coach. He does have some OC experience way back when with the Miami Dolphins because, by the way, he's actually former Packers coach Mike Sherman's son-in-law. And yes, this is the same Nebraska quarterback, Zac Taylor. It's a bit of a risk because he is so young and so inexperienced overall as a coach, but he will draw interest because teams, again, fair or not, would rather be 1 year too early than 1 year too late to get the next young head coach. Speaking of young, number 5, our top defensive candidate this year, Kris Richard. Now, he is listed as the defensive back coach for the Cowboys. He's really the defensive corner. He's the one calling the plays. Rod Marinelli is still involved there, but Richard is the de facto Cowboys DC. And remember, he's had head coaching interviews in the past. The Colts interviewed him. And along with Brian Flores, I think Richard is the top defensive option this year. I think in reality, he might make the most sense for a team that has an offensive coordinator already in mind. They can get that young OC, keep him in place, and then have Richard focus on the overall team and the defensive side of the ball. We'll go back now to the offensive minds. How about John DeFilippo? And I think his stock has taken a bit of a hit. There are some Vikings fans very upset with DeFilippo. The offense has not been as good as, frankly, I think it should be. Granted, injuries are playing a bit of a role there, if the offensive line too. But NFL teams like DeFilippo. And remember, this is not the first time we've mentioned him. We mentioned him last year when he was with the Eagles. Frankly, when he was the Browns OC, he was viewed as a coordinator on the rise. So it's not a huge shock that NFL teams have long coveted DeFilippo. And I will not be surprised, regardless of how this year ends for Minnesota, if he ends up getting a head coaching job. Remember, interviewed for the Cardinals and the Bears jobs last year. And if you're Arizona, given how poorly Steve Wilkes has done, maybe you would have preferred hiring him instead. All right, folks, we're getting close to the holidays and Christmas time and gift shopping. I got the perfect gift for the guy in your life, a Mizzen and Main shirt. Go check them out, comfortable.af. It is the most comfortable dress shirt you will ever own. Go get yourself a Mizzen and Main shirt or go buy one for your dad instead of another crappy tie this holiday season. All right, 3 more guys here for the Packers head coaching candidates. At number 3, this carries a bit of an asterisk here, John Harbaugh. He's only a target if Harbaugh and the Ravens part ways, be it mutually, unmutually, whatever. Now, the odds are a little steep on him, plus 4,000, but if he becomes available, much like the other guys we'll mention here in a second, he jumps to the top of everybody's list. It's not often, excluding Mike McCarthy, I guess, that you can get a coach who's won a Super Bowl. That's what John Harbaugh can bring you. And yeah, things have been a little iffy this year for Baltimore in the past couple of years, just a couple of narrow missed playoff berths overall for the Ravens. But I think he makes sense as an option. And if he is available, I think teams like the Packers and insert any team that fires their head coach will make perfect sense for John Harbaugh. Now, you saw the Harbaugh odds there. Let's take a look now at the top 10 BetDSI odds for the next Packers head coach. John DeFilippo was their number 1. Again, he was our number 4. Josh McDaniels, we'll get to him. Adam Gase, I actually don't see that one happening. I don't see the Miami Dolphins firing him right now. I think they like him a lot, and they're going to try and keep him unless things really fall apart the rest of the way. Jim Harbaugh, we mentioned him. Not really buying. I think he stays in Michigan. Lincoln Riley, we'll mention him in a little bit. Don't worry. Dave Taub did not make my list, but I thought about it. I think Green Bay is going to go with an offensive mind, but Taub will get interviews this offseason. Zac Taylor, we discussed him. Eric Bieniemy could be an option as well. He'll draw interest this offseason because Chiefs OC has quickly become the stepping stone job for NFL head coaching gigs. Bruce Arians, I think, only takes the Browns job. I think it's the only job he really wants right now. And then Pete Carmichael, well, he made our list as well. Again, folks, today's show is brought to you by BetDSI. Chatsports.com/bet takes you right to it. And promo code LIVE120 gets you a 120% deposit bonus. Put down $50, they're going to get you $60 for free. Put down $100, they're going to give you $120. Put down $500, hey, they're going to give you $600 extra bucks to bet with on BetDSI. Go place some futures bet and then roll in the money going forward. All right, top 2 options. I feel pretty good about these 2. Number 2, Lincoln Riley. He is, in reality, fair or not, going to be the number 1 target, I think, for most NFL head coaching spots out there. I think everybody wants to find Lincoln Riley and get Lincoln Riley because he's done a fantastic job overall with the Oklahoma Sooners, getting Kyler Murray to be a great quarterback who was not that good in A&M, quite frankly. I think that's a fair point there for the Sooners. But here's the thing for Lincoln Riley. Yes, it's the NFL. I know many of you guys are NFL fans. is an NFL job actually better than a college head coaching gig? Let me know what you guys think. Because if it's up to me, as much as I love the NFL, if I could be the head coach of, let's just say, the Green Bay Packers or the Oklahoma Sooners or another top-tier college program, I'm probably going to pick the college program. The money is as good, if not better, at a top-tier college program. The stress is, I think, way less because if you don't win a Super Bowl within 5 years, you might not have a job in the NFL. If you don't win a national title in 5 years in college, you're probably still going to be okay. So I think I'd prefer the college head coaching job than an NFL gig, although, of course, not everyone feels that way. And the number one candidate, at least the one that I feel if they hired someone right now, it'd be this guy, Josh McDaniels. And I get it. He burned the Colts pretty badly. I think he burned a lot of bridges doing so. But there have already been multiple reports about Josh McDaniels and the Packers. And if you're McDaniels, your issue in Denver was that A, you had too much control. Don't do that one again. B, you had quarterback problems. That shouldn't be a problem in either spot in Green Bay if McDaniels knows what's good for him. Now, again, the burn bridges was a major, major red flag. But if you're McDaniels and the reports are that assistant coaches want to join you in Green Bay, maybe it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. So I think this one could actually go down. If McDaniels does jump ship for the Patriots, don't the Packers kind of make a little bit of sense there? All right, to recap the top 10 candidates here. Jim Harbaugh, Pete Carmichael with the Saints, Pat Fitzgerald, Matt Campbell are your college coaches, at least beyond the top two. Zac Taylor, the Rams' young quarterback coach. Kris Richard, one of the only defensive guys that I think is going to get interest this season. John DeFilippo of the Vikings. John Harbaugh, if he gets fired or part ways with the Ravens. Lincoln Riley, if he actually wants to leave the Sooners. And then Josh McDaniels, assuming the Raiders really haven't been burnt quite yet. So let me know, folks, in the comments section. Who do you think should be the Packers' next head coach? If it was someone on this list, let me know. I'll be sure to give my thoughts in the comment section.